You know that Peter Griffin meme when he hurts his knee and he goes, that's how I feel right now. That is how I feel right now. We fall agonizingly short in a massive clash. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts, guys. I really am. I can't fault the effort, can't fault the strategy. I think in a nutshell, the difference was Riley Thilthorpe. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Yeah, mixed day was disappointing. Yeah, Checkers was disappointing. I'm probably more worried about a mixed day than I am a Checkers. Felt like a game, high stoppage, now forward 50. I don't want to say it, but it kind of felt like a Bobby Hill would have been handy. Guys, we're going to do this for about 45 minutes. I am rocking up, or I'm supposed to be going to one of my good mates' birthday, just local. So we'll do this for 45. So let's smack it out. Let's do it. Let's hear you. Hello, Manny, File. Yasu.
Yasu, buddy.
How you feeling, bro?
Fucking disappointed, bro. We had that game there.
Flat, yeah.
Not flat. I'm just not going to lose the plot today because it's the same bullshit every week there. They're fucking dumb. They're just fucking dumb. As I said to you before, you're fucking dumb. You got the coach sitting on the boundary line. They're bombing the ball in for 2 quarters. Tell them, you're right there. Tell them, stop bombing the ball in. We've got 26 more inside 50s of them and we can't mark the ball because our last 5 losses, the way they've beaten us is they're flooding numbers back. They're putting so many numbers back so we can't kick goals. So tell them to kick the ball back and open up the back 50. We had them all night today. We demolished them. We had them all night. We couldn't execute inside 50s.
You know, it's ironic. You know, some of their goals to bring the game back onto their terms or get in front late in the game actually were off the back of Adelaide trying to go through the corridor. The execution wasn't there, but because it created chaos, it gave them opportunity to get the ball into the forward line quicker than what we could do.
Yes, and also, you know what else is the problem? The coach is dumb. Yeah, first of all, Darcy Moore. You've got to play behind Thilthorpe, not in front of him. Malaka, behind him, so he can punch the ball out of his hands, but he's playing in front of him, number 1. Right? Number 2, Craig McRae. Do you know what? The Adelaide Crows don't need to win this game. So they're comfortable playing the same game style. Why does it take you to the 5-minute mark of the last quarter to make it ballistic football? You understand? That they're comfortable playing the way we're playing all night. All this long kicking down the line in the wet. Right? Why are you waiting till the last 5 minutes to make it ballistic and start taking risks? We've got to win the game. Take risks earlier. And also, Craig McRae, if you're going to fly Ed Allen all the way over to give him 7 minutes of game time, right, you might as well put Bobby Hill in there because I guarantee you the reason why we couldn't snag another goal is because they were just getting to the ball in their back 50 every single time and we couldn't just clamp on them. I reckon if Bobby was in the back 50, he would have scrambled the ball, he would have laid a couple tackles and we could have scrambled a couple goals.
So what I'm saying is, look, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying, but just taking a look at next week, we win comfortably. There's a world we finish top 4 and we're still in this, yes? True?
Well, we're going to finish the weekend. We're going to finish the weekend at top 4. Now, we can't drop out of the top 4. But as we said before, we are not Carlton supporters. We don't lower our expectations. Do you know where we've come from there? 5 weeks ago, we were on top of the ladder. All right, we can't lower our expectations now to make ourselves feel better.
We're here now, though. We are here
now. Yeah, I know. We know we're here now, but don't lower your expectations like Carlton supporters to make yourself feel better. All right,
I just said
we've bottled it.
trying to get top four. Top four.
Yeah, all right. But what I'm
aiming for now.
Yes, you're right. We need top four. But what I'm trying to say is, top four would be great, but don't let them off the hook that we absolutely bottled the season. We bottled it.
It's not over yet, bro.
Bro, it's not over, but we're putting ourselves in a position that we shouldn't be in. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be in this position. And umpires.
I understand.
Umpires.
When we look back at this season, when we look back at this season, we can go that way if it ends out that way. But for now, top four is still there. We can still win the flag. All will be forgiven if we get there. I'm not lowering the standards. The expectation is still to win the flag. If we don't win the flag this year, we'll fall short of where we should have been. Yes?
Yes, that's right. We're assuming we're going to beat Melbourne next week. Not knowing our luck at the moment, we're probably going to lose against Melbourne and really bottle it. We'll see. Hopefully we can get the job done against Melbourne. The way they played today, right? I can't see him playing like that again next week.
It's a good start. It's a good start, bro.
Anyway, it was self-inflicted. We had them all night long. All we had to do, the first quarter started off well, 5 goals on them. I thought, yep, we got them. We've broken them. And then the second quarter, fucking put a couple goals on there. Kick a goal at least. Put a couple on them, right, and break them. We just let them hang around because we let them hang around, right? They got excited and bang! It was an arm wrestle, and we took too long to change our game style and also bring on the sub.
All right, Manny, I've got to fly through these, brother.
Thanks get the others on. Hey. Get the others on. We'll see what happens next week.
Next week. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, like I said, we're going to fly through this. We're going to get 45 minutes in, and then I've got a mate's birthday. So, yeah, that's that. Benny.
Evening, mate. So close.
Damn.
Like I was disappointed, but I'm happy for what the good things we saw. Manny and I were chatting just after, and we agreed on pretty much everything. Like I'm a bit softer, and I sort of look towards those positives and the things that went right and where we have to improve. And there's space for it. But it's like you said, it's a good start. We can build off that now. We couldn't build off last week. That was just rock bottom.
Yeah, I don't know, Ben. I just. One issue that still remains, and we can all probably agree in the chat, is we are still being a bit too submissive. And I understand the weather conditions weren't great, and Adelaide played the same way for a long time, but it felt like Adelaide were willing to bite off the risky kick, and it didn't come off for them many times, but eventually some slipped through and they kicked goals from that, and it changed the direction of the game. I feel like that's something we've got to take into Melbourne, build on everything we've established today and add that.
Yep, a few times, absolutely too conservative, played a little bit too safe. It just needed especially in the third when it wasn't, we were what was it, 60 minutes without a goal? We needed a goal. We just had to play something, just have a bit of a risk. And like Manny said, the coach is there. Just scream out, no more long bombs. Just, if you have to walk it inside 50, then do it. And then have your long bomb, and at least you're in for a 6-pointer possibly.
Yeah, I mean, Checkers, it was one of those games where you just need a Checkers or a McStay to stand up. I can give Checkers a mulligan. I think McStay, he's been disappointing. What needs to happen for McStay to find some form going into the next, the final series?
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised he's out of form. How unsettled we have made him. Tonight was probably a night where he could have been out for Cox, sure. Or we also spoke about this after the match, that sub Ed Allen on a bit earlier for McStay out and move someone inside 50 to stay there, whether it was, rotate through Nick, Bo. Or you know what else? Lockie Schultz was so often up the ground taking marks and doing the good things, but he needed to be in there.
Yeah, look, it felt like he was everywhere. He was at fullback at times. I was like, what's he doing there? But he did play incredibly well. Like he can walk out. I mean, a lot of the players can walk out with their head held high. But yeah, maybe you probably don't want Lockie Schultz at fullback at times.
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't a knock on him. He was outstanding. But I love those marks, 40 out, on the lead, whatever
Yeah.
it was. But
Oh,
anyway, mate, I know you're in a rush. Let's get on to other
Benny,
people if you
I got a
want.
question for you. I got a question for you.
Yeah, yeah.
What was
Yeah,
your
go for it.
reaction when Nick Dacos got that shot late in the game?
So everyone in the house is asleep, and I jumped up and did a silent fist pump. And then, like, I put my phone away because I was on the Discord chat. I'm like, cool, I'm not going back on there until the game's finished. It was about 3 minutes to go. Thought I can handle it. We're just gonna see if we win. I'm gonna go on there and do a few fist pump emojis, and it didn't happen. But we got close, and I was disappointed. I smiled for what I saw. A lot of frustrating stuff, but like I said, we can build on this. Now we know we can at least fight against the best informed team in the comp
Yeah.
in hostile territory when we aren't playing our best, and they only got us by 3 points, and our efficiency was shocking.
It's a trend that you can't hide away from it. So hopefully going into a Melbourne game, we can rectify that.
Yeah, well, that's what they can work on this week. It's like everything else is kind of in place. Yeah, there's a few, Darcy Moore, still a few issues. It was about 50-50, but we can build
He was
on it.
better. He
That's
was
the key
better,
for
but
me.
yeah, a few key moments, but he was better. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. So we're going to the footy on Friday?
Yeah, lock it in, brother.
Done.
Lock it in.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Is Jack
you, Benny.
Reacher going to be there?
Jack Reacher, who's that? Is that bad that I don't know
Your
who
brother.
That is?
Your brother.
Yeah, he'll be with us. Don't worry. Yeah, he piffed a few choice items around the room after the siren, but that's the way it goes.
Oh my goodness. All good. All right. Ciao, mate. Have a good one.
You too, brother. Take care. Okay. By the way, I'll just catch up on some donations. One of them is from Benny, of course. Benny, $10. Thanks, brother. Agonizingly close, disappointed, turned up, did everything we asked, except that last bit of bombing. That's the final piece. Wow, 11% goal efficiency. Is that going inside 50? Scores per inside 50, 11%. It's brutal. It's a harsh reality that we do need to rectify. And look, we can say the conditions weren't ideal, but 11% ain't it. Rangatank, I think you've done a double donation. Our inside 50 connection was looking like dial-up internet from 2000. What's going on? Hey, it's a problem we need to solve. And maybe it's just a matter of in this game in particular, being braver than earlier. But I don't, guys, that's a cry. I've just got hay fever. I've been rocked by hay fever. If it's not indigestion, sometimes it's hay fever. Rangatank, you've sent the same one twice. If that's by accident, let me know. I'm obviously more than happy to transfer you the 5 back. I'm assuming that was an accident. So let me know. Let me know on Discord or here. Up to you, bro. All right, let's go. Tyler.
Anthony, I'm not going to hold
Mate.
you much. I agree with everything Ben said. I'm disappointed. I'm not upset. I'm not deflated. That may have been the performance that we needed to kickstart our season again. Yeah, it's just that those efficiencies inside 50, everything else seemed to be, clicking. We could take a bit more risk. We could be a bit braver, but that was the response we needed. We just didn't get the win.
And it's that time of the year where you can play well and you can walk out with your head held high, but the results are so crucial. Look, look, if we beat Melbourne, Melbourne aren't going to be a pushover. Like that's facts. That's facts. But we can still make top 4, and if we can build on this game, I'm all right with that. But the win would have been nice.
The win would have been excellent. Yeah, the win would have been the cherry on top. I think the win would have guaranteed top 4.
Yeah.
And next week would have been a bit of a gimme. But I'll just leave with one point. We spoke about the Bobby Hill decision a couple of nights ago. Yeah. And I really hate to think that could have been the difference between us finishing top 4 and out of it. Like this game specifically, especially if we're only subbing in Ed Allen 6 minutes left. At that stage.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to read too much into the late sub for Ed Allen. I think Manny and Ben said you could have brought in Allen earlier for McStay.
Exactly.
Problem was though, McStay plays in a ruck. So when DC has his spells for 5-6 minutes, like he did in that last quarter, I mean, who are you going to put in there if McStay's not there? That's part of the issue.
I think it was just a difficult thing just with the Bobby Hill thing. The last thing was, this reminded me so much of Sydney last year, where we're down 3 points, 5 minutes left, and if you remember, Joe Richards was brought in with 46 seconds left remaining, when we could have injected his speed, maybe a few minutes earlier. I just hate to think that could have been what we should have done with Ed Allen or even Bobby Hill. But onwards and upwards.
With you on a Bobby Hill, Tyler, look at the forward 50 stoppages that we had. You would have loved to, like, Nick gets 2 or 3 shots off in those stoppages. Imagine what a Bobby Hill does in those stoppages.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it could have been the difference of just telling Bobby to suck it up, get on the ground for 15 minutes and kick a goal, and that's it.
Tough, man. Tough.
Anyway, I'll let you power through it. Go, Pies.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey,
thanks.
On to the next one, yeah?
On to the next one. Only onwards and upwards from now.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah, guys, Parker was outstanding, composed, asked to come in a game like this and to do a job and unleash Dan Houston. A lot of little wins, guys. Dan Houston on the wing, for me, was a win. Will Parker, great win. Billy Frampton played really well. Darcy Moore played well. There are a couple moments where he maybe was playing too assertively on a Taylor Walker and a Thilthorpe, but it's better than what he's dished out recently. Guys, hopefully we get Bobby Hill back. We get Jeremy Howe certainly back this week, surely, right? So we definitely got a lot right. And Pendlebury just wound back. Does he wind back the clock, or is that just Pendlebury personified? That's just who he is. All right. Hello there, Mick.
How are you, pal?
Chronological.
Yeah. Man, so fucking. Look, it is deflating, but hearing you say earlier that that we'll be in the top 4 by the end of the weekend. Did you say that?
That will stand.
Well, if we still make top 4, then it's all good. Of course we've got to beat Melbourne. Fuck, how good was Geordie in the first quarter, man? If he could just be. Go on.
No, he's building. We can't expect him to be what he was just yet. I feel like he has some moments for sure.
Yeah. The Bobby Hill factor. I knew. I kind of had this funny feeling we were going to lose a close one, and he just should have played, man. We follow too many rules at this club, man. This season is going to go down as one of little decisions that we've made throughout the year that have gone against us, and look, it doesn't. Like, all right, so Jeremy Howe plays against Geelong, we probably win. Membry probably plays against who was it, Freo or Gold Coast, I can't remember. We probably win, yeah. We get one of those wins, top 4 secured, and that's it. Yeah. Nothing much I can add, really, man. Was really pumped for the game. I was supposed to be at a birthday. Luckily, my missus got home from work and was complaining about feeling crook, and I'm like, that's the excuse. That's the excuse where I could just sit back at home and watch it, because can you believe it? The pier at Port Melbourne doesn't have a fucking screen showing football. I could not believe it. I called them up earlier and I said, if he's got a screen, and they're like, no. And I'm like, are you guys a pub or what, man? What the fuck, man? And so when my missus said, oh, I'm feeling like shit, I go, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be. Do you mind if I put the link for my live stream for later in the Discord?
What we'll do is, as soon as I am wrapping this up, I will send a link into the chat, put it in Discord as well. So stick around, and as soon as you hear me, as soon as like hear me give you the 5-minute warning, go off and start your live, and I will put the link in the chat so people can continue the show into the night.
All right, beautiful. No worries. We can. Anyone want to join me? We can drown our sorrows all together, mate. But there's still hope. There's still hope, man. Let's not fucking. It was deflating. At least the boys put up a better effort. The umpires just fucking destroyed us, but that was expected. Like, how many times did they fucking throw the ball, man? Fuck me dead, man.
That's Adelaide, man. It's a hostile environment. The umpires were shitting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, anyone want to drown their sorrows for a couple of hours? I'm probably not going to do a fucking 4-hour marathon again, but see how we go.
Done.
I'll let you get on to the other people.
I'll keep it rolling, Mick. Thanks, mate.
No worries, pal. Have a good one.
Yeah. Nick.
Hey, I'll quickly start with the positives, and then I'll go on to the negatives. Positives is Billy Frampton, Scott Pendlebury, and Lockie Shields. I mean, they and Darcy Cameron, even though we lost, they can go back with their heads held high, because I don't know about you, but Frampton did fantastically against is it Theofor?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And Parker, it did not surprise me for him to play that well, because he didn't really have very much opportunities in the AFL, and I've seen him in the VFL, and he was really good in the VFL, so it didn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
And now going on to the negatives, is that it's really unbelievable that we had 71 inside 50s to Adelaide's 37. And we just kept on kicking it to Mark Keane. I mean, a loss is a loss, and I knew that I was not confident in this game, and I had a feeling that we might lose this one. But 71 inside 50s, right, and kicking it to Mark Keane, I mean, surely you would have come up with something different, probably at halftime or something.
It was pretty predictable, wasn't it? It was like, let's just kick it to my check on Keane. They had a +1. It's just, for me, if we want to be hypercritical in a game where I was relatively pleased given where we've been in the last couple of weeks and knowing that we can still contend, the criticism is, why do we submit to that long down the line for quarter on quarter on quarter? It takes us to the 7-minute mark in the last quarter to open up the corridor and
corridor, yeah.
It's just painful, man.
I mean, I was really like, do you ever have that frustration in a video game when you lose and you got to restart again? That game rage you have in a video game when you lose a race or something, you got to restart the level again.
Mm.
Yeah, like I was not frustrated because we were losing. I was frustrated because how shocking our inside 50s were, and at one point I was just begging for someone to kick a goal and just give us something in this game, like regardless if it's Adelaide or Collingwood, if you understand where I'm coming from. I was so tempted to shut the TV off at halftime or something, because it was just crazy. But but some players, they can hold their heads high, and we get Hal back. Hopefully we get Bobby back. If we don't get Bobby back, then I'm pretty sure he might go to Western Australia with some personal reasons.
Yeah, I think we'll find out more over the next 7 days with what happens with Bobby. I'm hearing in the post game that he's not a certainty to play next week, so that's something to discuss in the week.
Yeah, Anthony, like, say if we did say that Bobby Hill did went to Western Australia, regardless if it's West Coast or whatever have you. What do you think the Pies will get out of it? What would we get out of it? Because he is a good player.
Probably gonna look. I won't dive into it any further than this, but I'd probably be asking for no less than a first-round draft pick in a draft that isn't compromised, or a player
Nice.
that is of equal value. But in saying that, is there another Bobby Hill from Western Australia? That we'll dive into that if we need to get there, but we're not there yet.
We're close. We're close.
Mm.
All right, I'll keep it on.
I'm with you.
All right, I'll keep it going.
All right, see you.
Have a nice night. See ya.
Okay. Abzi. Abs, you on mute? Abzi.
Hear me?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Buzzer beater,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Another one that got away.
Yeah, felt like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't look pretty on our clutch time record, our buzzer beaters, but
No, we're not the kings of the close finish anymore.
yeah.
That's all right. No, it was a much better effort though than the last couple of weeks. We showed we can still hang with the top teams. So we're
100
not quite
million.
done yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't get points for that.
No, and I was saying earlier, like the performance was up to standard, but this late in the year, the results matter. However, we've been graced a second chance going into next week.
Yeah. The only thing that could hurt us is Gold Coast having that extra game in hand.
Yeah, they're playing plebs, Port Adelaide and Essendon. So I'm going to have to do some ladder predictors and some goal differential or percentage to see what they need to do in the next two games to make it hard for us to stay in the top four, even if we have a decent percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. This game was there's not really too much I can really fault with the team. We were just up against a good opposition, you know.
They threw their punches, man, and Riley Thilthorpe is him.
Yeah. I
Him,
mean,
bro.
look, yeah. I mean, we could have probably done a bit better going forward. It just seemed like a lot of our forward entries, they just either go a little bit too high or just a little bit too low. It's just like, come on, just hit the target.
That's how fine the margins are in AFL.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I wanted to, go on. Sorry,
I want to throw you a question, and then I'll let you ask. I do have a curious question because I want to. I'll extend this to the chat as well.
Okay.
And maybe I'm stating the obvious, but I do want to put it out there. Like losing that game in that fashion, I'm still faithful and optimistic that we can go all the way. I could not imagine how this post game would go if we were to had been beaten comprehensively by 7, 8, 9 goals tonight. I think we're having a completely different story here if that's the case. True?
Yeah, 100%. That game could have gone either way. So we've showed that we can beat the best team on their home turf, which means you can beat anyone if you put the effort in.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up was like with McStay, right? One of the reasons why we've gone with him instead of Cox is because the theory was that you lose a little bit out of the ruck, but you gain more around the ground and up forward. But at the moment, we're not really getting much out of McStay around the ground and up forward, so we're just losing out of the ruck. I actually think we should bring in Cox.
It's a bold move because then you'd be assuming McStay falls out of the team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that look? One thing about Fly, one thing I've learned, I'm sure one thing most of us have learned about old mate Fly is he's very loyal and persistent with his selections. He's like for his players who have been in the side for a long time. He's not quick to press the eject button on them. For the younger players, it's different. But you look at Ned Long, who's had a decent season. the last 5-6 weeks, different story. But look how he's
Yeah.
persisted with Ned Long. Look how he persists with a Dan Houston. Look how he persists with everyone else. I mean, I just could I see it happening? Do I think it could be an option from a fan perspective? I think that will be a big conversation this week. Do I think Fly and the selection panel will pull the trigger? I don't think so. What do you think?
You're right. He is very loyal to the play. To the players that he's got in the team. But at the end of the day, like Cox played really well today in the VFL, so he's knocking on the door. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe is there a way you can bring Cox in and not drop McStay? Is that possible? I don't know.
Not in this current economy. The way the game
Yeah.
is played, it's just too much. Like we looked faster without a Tom Mitchell in the side and Will Hoskin Elliott to a certain degree. I think it's
Yeah.
just too much to compensate for. Works against us.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I was happy with Frampton's game. I thought Frampton stepped up a bit.
Yeah,
And
mate.
and Darcy Wall played all right.
Mate. So a lot of these spot fires were quelled tonight. We put them down. Darcy Moore was better.
Yeah.
Frampton was outstanding. Quaynor, immense. Perryman, reliable. Bruzzy, some of the defensive plays here on Taylor Walker, particularly late in that last quarter, I think it was, on that lead to the boundary. Like those are the moments that keep you in the game. And how many times they were able to recycle and just give us a little bit of solace in the back half at times and giving us a chance to set up and go again. I think a lot of positives in that regard for sure.
Should we have pulled the trigger a bit earlier? Instead of waiting so late in that last quarter, should we have maybe just gone a bit earlier?
I'm hearing that a lot. So, I mean, like for me, I don't know how much it changes the game. We'll never know, but it seems like there's a lot of people begging the question in the chat. So I'm not going to say, nah, it would have been a bad idea. But the reality is we'll never know now.
Yeah. That's true. I've been saying for the last few weeks now, because I've been on your show a couple of times.
Yes.
Get Howe in there. He's the
mate.
difference maker.
How good. Doesn't matter what happens tonight. We're going to get Howie back next week. Hopefully. Most likely.
If Howe's in that team, we don't lose.
But the back half wasn't our issue this week, was it?
No, I guess not. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe they could have moved him forward though. You can take a good mark up forward.
He can, yeah.
Mm.
You know, Howie probably would have been a better matchup on Keane than a Myercheck, if you want to look at it that way. If we want to visit that discussion.
Fair enough. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you move on because I know you're in a bit of a rush today. So, thanks for having me on, and we go again next week.
Hey, we'll do this. We'll do this same old merry-go-round again, brother. We'll be here. Don't worry about that.
Definitely.
All right. See you, Absy. Have a good one.
Yeah, Anthony, you too, mate. Cheers.
Sorry, guys. I'm a bit behind on the donations, so let me go back. Firstly, Benny with 10 gifted Pies Footy memberships, mate. You're a superstar. I appreciate your support. And I'll extend that out to everyone else. I appreciate everyone's support. So everyone contributes in a different way. And Benny, appreciate you, mate. Quaynor, Rangatang, thanks for the 2. Quaynor was a defender tonight. It was massive, mate. Massive. And in times in the last 4 to 6 weeks, it's been tough for us. He's stood up. I didn't like David Kingy's criticisms of him early in the week, not knowing what his role was. He was calling him nominally a defender, and that was about it. He didn't know if he was an interceptor or a ball user. But if like us, if he watches and lives and breathes the Collingwood Football Club, you'd see what Quaynor does beyond the stats. And he's also finding the footy a little bit more at times. He's intercepting. He's just solid. When the ball hits the deck in our back half, he's there. There was another one. Teresa, thank you for the 5. Parker got a lot of hate for being named, considering he was playing cricket not long ago, and the task he was given tonight, mate. Teresa, he did more than well. Yeah, agreed. You know, I wasn't when I heard Will Parker's name, I wasn't like, oh, why is he getting picked? He shouldn't be playing. It was more, okay, why is this happening? Well, we said it in the pregame, we said it in moving the magnets. It was probably to unleash Houston on a wing. And I said, look, he's an unrecognized commodity, and we'll find out about Will Parker. This is the type of game you find out about these kids. And mate, he's got a spot. He's got a spot, especially if Dan Houston on the wing is a tick. All right. Sean. Hello. Kev.
Hey mate, how are you? How are you, mate?
Good mate. How are you?
A bit disappointed. Look, I'm proud of the effort tonight. I really am. Considering that our first quarter we got off to a good start, I thought our third quarter we could have kicked a little bit more apple in front of goal, and would prefer us at times just to move the ball on sideways and then try and build up that way as well. But the goals that were kicking that first quarter were good. We were low in our eyes, and that's what I wanted. Then we went back to bombing a little bit, and did not help because it was wet weather footy as well. But at the end of the day, mate, we had our chances to win. That last quarter, the first 10 minutes of it, we were no score, and then we end up kicking 2 goals, and then they kicked three. Some of our chances that we had in that third quarter, yeah, we just could have take the most of our opportunities, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
if we persist that way, Kev, we play like that. Like I said, I'm being. If we want to be critical in a game where we were very impressive given the circumstances, given the hostility, I think the criticism is Myercheck can have a bad game. Okay, I can live with that. McStay, what did his counterpart do on the other side of the ground in Philthorpe? He won the game for them in the end. So there's that, and then there's kicking it to Jamie Elliott like he's a key forward. It's just it doesn't work like that. Elliott is yes, he can take a contested mark, but he can't be the go-to guy every single time, especially in these type of conditions. So we do have to be cognizant of what and how we're entering the inside 50, and maybe it's not a matter of that final kick going inside 50. It's can we just be a little bit braver, a little bit earlier in the game, and not when we have to go into full rocker mode with 7 minutes to go in the game.
yeah, no, look, I do agree. And there's a couple times where we didn't hit that short kick. Like there's one where it went over Sidebottom's hands. It was touch out of bounds for throwing. I'm not blaming the umpires at all, but there were a few times where we could have lowered our eyes a little bit and we didn't. We could have gave off that first option. We didn't. Yeah, we were a bit fumbling. Look, I thought Frampton played really well. Even Darcy Moore, he stood up. I know that Philthorpe kicked three. Tal Walker didn't have a good game, to be honest. Philthorpe kicked a couple, but Frampton was on him for most of the game. And again, I thought our backline stood up when it mattered. There was a few times where our turnovers, in particular, like instead of picking up the footy, like McCreary did it a few times, he had more time than he thought. Even a few times where we handball backwards, like, and then we expected to kick high, and then we cause a turnover that way. It's like, well, it is okay to transfer play and go through that corridor and try to find other ways instead of bombing to the same area. But it was wet, and in those conditions, you do get the ball. You need to get the ball forward as much as you can, So, but again, our goal kicking tonight was waffle too. We had our chances, especially on the run. Nick Dacos had a couple chances to kick a goal. Even like the few times we soccer the ball off the ground and kick around the body that was missed as well. Yeah, those all things happen, mate.
Yeah, that's it, Kev. All right, mate. Thanks for jumping on, brother. I've got to keep.
You have a good birthday
5 or 6
party
to
to go do as well, mate.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you. Hey, we'll see you again, huh?
Yeah. Look,
All right.
I'll show up no matter what, mate. I'll be there on Friday night. Don't worry.
Done. All right. Take care, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. Bye.
Greatness, are you back?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, how are you?
Yeah, doing all right.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Oh, sort of, kind of going, back and forth in my thoughts in terms of, kind of like the do I go glass half full, glass half empty sort of thing. Because I do think we put in a lot more effort. I feel like everyone across the board, albeit the Hawthorn game, I think everyone, pretty much didn't play that well. So if that's like the standard for them to play well, there's not really that high of a bar to reach. But I feel like everyone obviously got over that bar, so that's certainly a positive. And I do think that there is a bit more positivity going into the rest of the season. It's very clear that we've still got a bit of juice left in the yeah, and yeah. So it's sort of I don't know. I guess it depends if you're glass half full, glass half empty.
We have to
It
be.
would have been nice to get
John,
the
we have
win.
to be glass half full now. We have to. We have to.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get there. Yeah, because I think there's also I've seen a lot of people have over on like Twitter and things like that have spoken about umpires. I'm not really too focused on that. Like, I just don't think that
Yeah.
that's something that we need to focus on. I think, and I've been saying this for a fair while now. We need to get a full forward. If we had, I know this is like um wishful thinking and stuff, but if you had the 2010 forward line, a key forward line in Travis Clough, Chris Dawes, and Brown, if you had them, we probably win this game by 40 plus. Um, I just think that we're really really desperate for some solid key forwards, and not just key forwards but full forwards. Guys that can take a contested mark, and they can just go back and have shots at goal and kick them right through the middle. I just feel like that's just a massive, massive hole that we have on our list. And I know, I've been sort of talking up Howes a bit, but yeah, God, that kid's gonna have a bit of pressure going into his preseason because yeah, we're certainly gonna need him for next year because yeah, it's just something on our list we just desperately need.
Charlie West.
Well, Charlie West is more of a centre half forward, like, and for him to be if he does play that full forward role, I feel like he needs a few more preseasons to build up that physical frame of his. I just don't think he's ready physically. So
Yeah.
so hopefully going into next week, and yeah, we play Melbourne, we can put in the same effort this
Yeah.
week. I feel like if we do, I feel like that's enough to get us over the line. And yeah, like we're just sort of yeah, I feel like yeah, we'll just wait and see till next week, and yeah, hopefully, because I think we can still get a top four spot, right? That's still possible.
Still there, my
Although I
friend.
think
Still there.
yeah, so there you go. If we still finish top four, I feel like all these issues and concerns go away.
Yeah.
Because I think that second chance that'll be massive. Because then we'll have what technically two buys, because you'll have the buy from the end of the home and away season to the qualifying final. Oh no, sorry, yeah, no, because you have to win the qualifying final. My bad. No, but still,
Yeah.
so there's going to be yeah, a bit of a break then. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we're getting towards the business end of the season, and yeah, we'll just see how we go with it all. But yeah, there's obviously some things that we got to work out. But yeah, I thought Moore. It was very clear Moore was back to his best.
I
In
wouldn't say
terms of
best, but it was much better. It was much
yeah,
better.
yeah. In terms, sorry, I was about to say in terms of like recent weeks, the fact that he
Yeah.
was marking the ball, taking the game on, it's sort of you can sort of tell. Yeah, you can sort of tell he was playing a lot more freer. I sort of saw the pre-game that he was taking the pre-game speech as they're about to step on the field and play. Because as we know, last week Howe took that. So the fact that Darcy Moore was doing that, it sort of it sort of gave me sort of a bit more hope because it's like, okay, you got the captain leading from the front. We
Yep.
actually might be on tonight.
Yep. That's true.
And yeah, I just feel like we just made some decisions that are definitely, putting us in more of a positive direction.
Yeah.
But I think we also still have to build a bit. So, yeah,
Brilliant.
and yeah, hopefully in the off season we can make some changes and get
Yeah.
some new players in, and we'll just go from there, I guess.
Brilliant. All right, greatest. I got one more, and then I've got to head off to my birthday party, mate. Thanks for jumping
Yep,
on.
all good.
All
All
right,
right, so
take care. Bye. Mick, if you're in the chat, I need the link from Discord. Jack, how are you?
Not good. Not good at all. That was horrible.
You okay, mate?
I mean, I've just been laying down in bed for the last 45 minutes, processing what just happened. And, well, yeah, doesn't make it feel any lighter.
No, definitely not. But come on, mate. We have to take some optimism going into this game against Melbourne now. With that performance, with the fact that top 4 is on the line, we fixed a lot of things. Darcy Moore played better. Billy Frampton was outstanding. Jeremy Howe comes back. Bobby Hill hopefully fucking comes back. Yeah.
But Billy Frampton had a great game for it, but when it mattered most, he fucking choked it. He had the easy fist and missed the fist, and that cost us the game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
A lot of things didn't go our way. The umpiring, now I try not to talk too into it, but it did go against us in the big crucial moments. I was talking to an Adelaide fan, he even said that. And it's just a lot of little things, little mistakes. Side bottom, forgot who it was, but he kicked it to side bottom dropped the mark and would have had a shot. And Craig McRae, like, why did they just keep kicking the ball long? I'll never understand it. They just kept going long and long and long. Like, try and make some leads, make some short runs. Stop kicking the ball long to Mychek and Elliott. They're not tall enough, and McStay's just not up to it.
Yeah, it's a lingering issue that's troubled us. It worked well for half a season, but Tyler, they've figured out how to nullify that long down the line. At the same time, Adelaide, for the most part, played that way. What was funny, though, was Adelaide scored a couple goals by being brave, but the ball the brave kick they took in the corridor would result in a turnover, but it created chaos, and they ended up finding a way to get the ball into their forward 50 quickly and found goals that way. So we just needed to do that before they were willing to. We just didn't do that in time.
Yeah, I mean, that last quarter and that third quarter, I was just laughing with my dad with how boring, because it was just so boring. And it was like they were playing kick to kick out there. We'd hack it long to them. They'd hack it long to us. We'd hack it long to them. It was the most boring game of footy I'd watched in a long time since that Essendon-Richmond game a few rounds back. It was just horrible, just tactics from both sides, and the pressure was insane and really intense. Don't get me wrong, but if you told me those two teams were both outside the 8, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Tyler, not Tyler, Jack. It's tough because we go into a game where we're out of all sorts of form, so we're trying to mitigate risk at the same time, and that risk mitigation was going long in tough conditions because we wanted to get other things right first. We got our ducks in a row, but by the time we got our ducks in a row, we weren't quick enough and brave enough to make that decision to look for the corridor a little bit more. I'm hoping that's going to be on the forefront of review and look to and applying that method as early as possible, as earlier than 5 minutes remaining in a wet game.
Yeah, I agree. Can we find a way to get Mackay to the Pies? He kicked 7 today. Can we get a good key forward or not?
Don't worry about him. Maybe Ben King. Look, Mychek had a down game. McStay's a bit of an issue at the moment. But if we move the ball like we have for the most part of the year, where we're efficient going inside 50, I mean, 11% efficiency going inside 50 tonight is not it. It's not our DNA. The last 6 weeks it has been, but for the most part of the year, it's been better.
Lip had his worst game in 15 weeks. He was not on the ball today.
Lip is a product of the system. Ever since he missed the game through illness, he hasn't been quite the same, but we've never leaned on him to be someone who leads from the front. So I'm not gonna. Lip is a role player, and yeah. He doesn't make or break the game. Jack, I've got to go, brother. So I'll leave you with it.
All
Okay.
good. Yeah.
I appreciate you, mate. I'll see you next week.
See ya.
Guys, if you want to continue the show, the link is in the description. I think I do have one more donation, which I will read out. I'm sorry to run out of you guys. I've got a good mate's birthday. Teresa calling it. Rest mixed day next week. Play Noah House. It's either mixed day or Cox. It can't be Noah House just yet. It's just too risky. Look, maybe some of you share that opinion. So I'm happy to, I'm keen to discuss that further throughout the week. We'll see you tomorrow for fan takeaways. Guys, if you're new to the stream, subscribe. We'll be here at 6 p.m. tomorrow. We've been live at 6 p.m. for the most part of the last 2-3 weeks. So the grind doesn't stop. And if you want a place to have a chat, this is the spot. Until tomorrow night, 6 p.m., fan takeaways. Go Pies.